Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast All Day. It's Tuesday, but we're just going to try this midweek thing and see how that's going because there's just too much to load up into a Friday. What can I tell you? The rust never sleeps. Anyway, Christy has a whole list of things that have happened since the last time we saw you.
Hello, yes, I'm Christy and you are Alonso, and this is Breakfast All Day.
Thought I'd said all that, but what do I know?
We're professionals here. And Alonso, it's not just any Tuesday. It's like the specialist Tuesday ever because it's
That's true.
February 22nd, 2022. It's 22222 and it's Tuesday. So if we didn't show up today, who would we be?
We come this way but once.
Right? Like it's never going to happen again in our lifetimes.
True. Not for centuries.
Right. So we got to be here today to do this. So here we are. So the big news over the weekend was how well the movie Uncharted did at the box office. It made $52 million in its opening. It was a $120 million movie to make. So I think they're probably still banking on, Tom Holland's bankability overseas and all that. And it's a big, silly action extravaganza. Will you go see it ever? Do you care?
I mean, it may be streaming. I'm not really interested. I mean, Sony's already licking their chops over it as a franchise. But from what I heard, it's like, it's better than a lot of video game movies, but that and I didn't go back and listen to your review yet because I haven't seen the film, but I've definitely seen some people say that Holland and Wahlberg have zero chemistry as daring do partners.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the folks who really, really love the video game, as we have seen from our poll and just from our comments, a lot of folks feel like it's just terrible casting. They look nothing like these characters. It's been so long that Mark Wahlberg was supposed to play the Tom Holland character. That's how long it's been. Nathan Fillion, I guess, was going to play it. But Tom Holland is a professional and he learned how to be a bartender for this role. Because in the beginning of it, Nathan Drake is tending bar in New York and flirting. And as Katie and I were joking in our most recent short, which I will link to down below, he's like globe-trotting cocktail. He's like Flair bartender. And there's a story out today. He talked to Sirius XM about how part of the fun of being an actor is you learn new skills. And so he was like undercover bartender at some place in London. And eventually word got out like, ooh, Tom Holland serving drinks at this bar. And it became such a madhouse that they kicked him out.
Oh, wow. Well,
which is dumb. You got Tom Holland right there serving drinks, right?
Well, it's interesting that he now has something not Spider-Man related that is really successful because, his last, I think he was a twofer on my worst of 2021 list because he did Cherry and Chaos Walking. So I know that when people are attached to a hit franchise, they want to be able to do other stuff, Vin Diesel. And so, I'm sure he's feeling very relieved that he's got other irons in the fire now.
Right. And later on today, we're going to talk about Robert Pattinson and we're going to go through some of his roles that we have loved over the years. But one of the ones that I chose is his work in The Devil All the Time, which Tom Holland's also in. This is another good example of Tom Holland trying to get gritty. And he's just too cute. I'm sorry. So there's that. Britney Spears has signed a $15 million book deal.
Tell it. Spill that tea.
Right. I mean, her sister had some book out, some stupid book in which she's like, I tried to save Britney. I tried to help her, but I was scared. Right. And so now Britney can tell the truth.
Nice. That will be, look, as somebody who has written some books, it is depressing that the only thing that publishers get excited about anymore and pay big bucks for are these sort of like celebrity, franchise books. And a lot of times those don't necessarily pay off, but I think this is a story that people really want to know. And, if she plays her cards right and works with the right collaborators, this could be a really, kind of gripping piece that people are going to want to read, not just, not just get the dishy excerpts in the New York Post or whatever,
Right. And for sure. And for so long, she was cooped up and we only saw glimmers of what she was trying to tell us through Instagram. And of course, there was the whole conspiracy theory about, is she really the one posting on Instagram,
Right.
or is it one of her
Now
handlers?
she can decode it all.
Right, now she can do it. Speaking of people spending a lot of money on memoirs, Elliot Page's memoir is due out next year. It's called Pageboy.
Yep.
He will talk about his journey with his identity and body issues and identity issues, and also relationships, and also his career. He's an Academy Award nominated actor for Juno, and so that should be really fascinating. So that'll be out next year.
It's interesting because he talked, I think, in the Oprah interview about how the lockdown really sort of aided in the transition in terms of sort of giving him the time and space to really think about this stuff that he hadn't wanted to entertain. And River Butcher, who's a trans comic, has a piece up that Comedy Central just posted on their YouTube, and also talks about the lockdown sort of like being a factor there. So it'll be interesting as we get further away from not the end of the pandemic, but from, you know, sort of the resuming of whatever our lives look like, what kind of, what that sort of enforced, I don't know, meditation's not the word.
Isolation, right?
Isolation and contemplation. Yeah.
Right.
Like how that affected people, you know?
Right. You've got nowhere to run, right? You've got nowhere to hide, and you're just forced to be with yourself and think your thoughts. And for some folks that might have been scary, for some folks that might have been liberating.
Yeah.
So you're right. That's a good point. Okay. So sooner than that, though, coming out really soon, The Godfather re-released in theater in honor of its 50th anniversary. The Godfather came out in March of 1972, March 24th, I want to say, 1972. And so it's going to be at several AMC theaters. We'll find a link for you and we'll put it below here so you can go see The Godfather on the big screen. I don't think I've ever seen it in a theater. Have you?
I have. Years ago, I went to the New Beverly here in Los Angeles, and it was a Godfather 1 and 2. It was like
neat.
A most of the day affair.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing it projected, you really get a whole new appreciation for what Gordon Willis is doing, and for the sort of subtle gradations within like his very dark and shadowy cinematography. It's a cool period right now for sort of Coppola appreciation, because there's also new 35 prints of The Conversation making their way around, which is the movie obviously that he famously made between Godfather 1 and 2, which is also an American classic. Also ties in a lot with Kimmy, you know, the Soderbergh movie. Like they kind of share some DNA there. So yeah, if you're a Coppola fan, this is a good time to see his stuff again.
I would like to go see The Conversation in a theater. That'd be really cool. So there's that. Speaking of things you can go see in a theater, the movie CODA, which we reviewed several months ago here on Breakfast All Day, Apple TV Plus is releasing it for free in theaters this weekend only. So right now we're talking to you on Tuesday, February 2nd. So this weekend, look for it. If it's anywhere near you, go and see it. And it's very moving.
With full captioning for, you know, the hearing impaired. So
that's so great. That's so smart. And so I hope folks were able to see that. CODA, of course, has several Academy Award nominations, including one for supporting actor for Troy Kotsur. So he is the heart of that film in a lot of ways. So that's something to check out. Couple other little tidbits for you, and then we'll move on to the rest of our matters for the day. Evangeline Lilly still talking about COVID. She wants Justin Trudeau to sit down with the Canadian anti-vax truckers and protesters. She is Canadian herself, and just like be open-minded and open-hearted, she says.
I'll never understand the hill that people pick, but this is hers apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's keeping herself in the news with her thoughts on COVID and protests and vaccines. And speaking of Canadians and COVID, Justin Bieber has had to postpone his US tour because he tested positive.
I heard. Did he get it from Queen Elizabeth?
She's next on my list. Queen Elizabeth has it too.
Yes.
And Charles and Camilla have had it.
Which, you know, I think makes you wonder, like, for all the people who like made it a point to stay away from their elderly relatives during all this, like, you know, how that, I don't know, who knows? We don't know the chain of events there, but nonetheless, yeah, I mean, she is up there in years, so it's a little bit, it's scary.
She's in her 90s, but she's still, you know, stiff upper lip. She's still plucky and resuming her duties.
She's keeping calm and carrying on, I'm sure.
Literally, she is doing that. James Gunn and Jennifer Holland got engaged They have been together since 2015 and just got engaged. If you did not see over at our Patreon, we recapped Peacemaker, which of course he created and she co-stars in as Harcourt. So I didn't realize that they had been together that long. I'm not sure I realized until very recently that they were together.
I didn't know about it until their engagement got announced. I was like, okay, well, you know, but surely if anybody's thinking, oh, well, that's how she got the role, like, you know, she's really great in it. So like, even if it is like, she's not like she phoned it in. She gave a good performance.
And she's really good. And then finally, today, besides being Tuesday, our great friend Kyle Buchanan has his book out about Mad Max Fury Road. It is titled Blood, Sweat, and Chrome: The Wild and True Story of Mad Max Fury Road. So that is out today. We're going to have him here on our show next week to talk more about it. Kyle, if you don't know, he writes for the New York Times. He is their awards pundit. He's brilliant. He has fantastic pipes. Like, just, I want to have him on just to hear his voice. He has a fantastic voice. So that's out today. Go check it out.
Yeah, if you missed his coverage of Aileen, like the reason that we're all excited to see Aileen is because of the way that Kyle wrote about it out at the Cannes Film Festival last year. So yeah, he's terrific. Excellent. Well, listen, everybody, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell, follow us online at Be Fast All Day on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as Christy mentioned on our Patreon, we're talking about TV, patreon.com/Be Fast All Day, digging into those shows that go so hand in hand, Pam and Tommy and The Gilded Age, and lots more cool stuff that only our subscribers get. So check that out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.